calling from a 204 area code. Who's this? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Nick calling from Winnipeg. How's it going?
Nick from Winnipeg. It's going all right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I had a couple thoughts on the abundance and housing issue in particular. I was actually the person who messaged the show before Sam talked to Ezra Klein and said, don't let him talk about housing.
Right. Okay. I don't remember the call, but I okay. Understood.
Yeah. Because the way that Ezra presents the issue of housing is so oversimplified. I don't think it's really helpful in terms of giving people an education on what the actual roadblocks are. And their obsession with zoning and their obsession with Austin and San Francisco sort of reveals that they don't really know what they're talking about.
Right.
With Austin in particular, you can use all of the same sources that Ezra cited when he was talking to Sam. If you look up new housing starts, how many units are being constructed, and track that along with the price of rent. Once that price dips a little bit, which only undoes a few months of the price increase that have been happening for years, once that price goes down a little bit, new housing construction completely halts.
Right.
And the way that these guys talk about it as just a simple supply and demand issue, it would mean that okay, the price dipped a little bit, but we're going to still keep building. We're going to make a little bit less profit. That's okay, whatever. But the reason that it grinds to a halt completely is that the prices that they're building to are based on existing rents. And so you have a pro forma, a giant spreadsheet with every cost associated with the project. This would be developers have the pro forma. Everyone on the project is working towards that. They are going to a bank and then getting money to build a project, because they don't just have tens of millions of dollars sitting around waiting to build a project. They get loans. And if any cost input into that project changes, or the amount of revenue you'll get from the project changes, all of a sudden the project is no longer viable, and they can't do it at all. So this idea that developers would continue to build in the face of falling rent prices is based on a pure fantasy. And the only reason they ever talk about Austin is because they crop the x-axis on the graph to just show a little bit of a dip in the rent cost.
Yeah, and there's no evidence that is going to be sustainable.
Yeah, it won't continue at all. And the other thing that they're always so obsessed with San Francisco and the West Coast, where space is rather limited, zoning is a bit of an issue.
Right.
I think zoning, it can relieve some pressure in certain areas, but I live in the middle of the continent. We have no shortage of space. And there are several very nice large lots that have been fenced off and empty for 8 years or more. They're zoned multifamily. Anyone could go over there and build an apartment. And the reason that they're not doing that is just the finances don't work out. So the abundance guys have only one answer to that, and is, sorry, rent has to go up.
Right.
There's no other way of improving that stuff.
Yeah, right. And they are a bit squirrely about supply and demand when the supply is they'll give lip service to things like public housing. But another way to increase supply and demand is not just to unleash the regulatory red tape for these developers. It's to have a real social housing program that would force the private market to compete with public housing. And that is,
for sure,
for me, so clearly the better alternative. And I think that's part of the line of demarcation. But appreciate the call. Thanks so much, Nick.
Just one more thing on the supply thing, just because you mentioned it. I know this is in Canada. I don't know what it is for the States, but in the mid 20th century, about over 20% of housing units and homes being built were built with public money.
Yeah.
Today, that number is less than 5%. So that's 15% that didn't need to make a profit that is now expected to be able to make a profit.
Yep.
And just like with road construction and infrastructure and healthcare, we don't expect a lot of these things to, I mean, you guys have for-profit healthcare, but like certain things just shouldn't be able to make a profit or shouldn't be relied upon to make a profit to provide the services that people need. And this is just it's just a choice that we have to reverse.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
New public housing construction in the United States has to be like almost zero.
No, well, there's the Faircloth Amendment was passed in 1999 that literally bans federal money for public housing. So that's when AOC, I think in her first term, maybe second term, her and Bernie kind of co-sponsored an effort. It was more symbolic, but I hope they renew it if we get a Democrat in office again, to repeal the Faircloth Amendment, which would unchain the federal government from funding public housing. But that was we can thank one Bill Clinton for that. And isn't that guy cited by the Abundance guys as very successful president?
I don't know about Derek and Ezra, but Matt Iglesias got a quote tweeted me saying this whole groups thing that these guys keep talking about, that's just verbatim Bill Clinton reheated third wayism. And Matt Iglesias quote tweeted me and said Bill Clinton was a successful politician, which is just, where we disagree.
Cool. Success meaning he achieved personal success. Let's not think about like the outcomes of politics.
He
all that matters is he won 2 terms.
Like hounded interns.
He's very good at playing the saxophone.
I've heard that too.
Trump says he's considering ways to serve a third term as president. Every time we call out Trump's authoritarianism, the right calls it media hysteria. But here's your reminder. Trump is openly trying to defy the Constitution and run for a third term. But if you don't know the bias behind your news, you might actually believe Trump's just teasing us. Go to ground.news/majority to see how framing influences more than your perception. Media bias is powerful enough to shape policy and, yes, even Trump's ability to undermine the Constitution. That's why we've partnered with Ground News for years now. Their app and website breaks down how the most critical issues we're facing are being spun. By exposing each reporting source's hidden agendas, I can see the world as it is, not as their biases want me to. Even better, if I'm ever reading about an issue on another site, their browser extension flags the source's political bias and instantly links me to other reports so I can verify the information. They're not some new tool I needed to learn. Ground News is a better version of the doom scrolling we're already doing. And after reading your comments, it's clear you'd benefit from them too. I got my viewers 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan that I've been using. That's just $5 a month for clarity and context when you go to ground.news/majority or scan my QR code. Democracy thrives on knowing the full story, not just the version you're fed. So sign up for Ground News today. Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.